Israelis are outraged at the murder of 3 Jewish settlers in the community of Halimish on Friday. A Palestinian man slaughtered a 70-year-old man and his 2 grown children on the Sabbath. David Rubin lives in the Jewish community of Shiloh in Samaria, what the media calls the West Bank, and he joins us now with more. Welcome.
Thank you.
David, first of all, what is the sense in your community right now? Is there fear of more attacks?
Well, every time that there's a terrorist attack, the people of Samaria, the biblical heartland of Israel, everyone's nervous. Everyone is on edge because we know that it could happen to us. Every single community in Samaria has been afflicted in some way by the so-called Palestinian terrorism, and the Islamic terrorism knows no bounds, it knows no end, and in fact it doesn't seem to understand that that when a terrorist kills a family, that when a terrorist kills 2 policemen on the Temple Mount, that they're paying the terrorists, and they have the nerve to complain about Israel putting some security measures into effect.
How vulnerable are the Jews living in the territory ruled by the Palestinians?
Well, I'm proud to say that we do protect ourselves. Many of us are armed, and we do have security. But there is a very precarious situation. We have to remember that we're talking about Palestinian Authority. We're talking about a people that for the most part wants our destruction. Doesn't want to have one Jew living in the biblical heartland of Israel. And when you have a situation like that, it's obviously going to be a very precarious situation. You know, we're here living in Samaria, in the heart of Israel, because we want to raise our children. We want to rebuild the land that the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob gave us, but we're being confronted with a Muslim enemy that wants to kill every Jew, or at least force every Jew to be frightened and to leave. Well, I got news for them. We're not leaving.
I want to play a video that was posted on Facebook by a security officer at a settlement in Judea, and he was riding patrol after the murder of those 3 people. It's about a minute long. Let's listen to what he says.
So I'm out right now, fully armored up, lit up for the whole world to see, to protect the children in this community while they sleep. Not one Arab community in this entire land needs a camera or a fence line or a radar system or a security patrol to protect them from the evil Jews that are trying to sneak into their homes to kill them at night. You know why? Because that's not happening. That doesn't happen. Not one Arab fears walking down the street between here and Hebron on the side of the road, because they know Jews aren't going to try to run them over and kill them. The reality is a lot different than everything you're saying.
So, David, do you agree with him that the reality on the ground is much different than what the world sees?
Oh, sure. This is obvious to all of us. You know, I was wounded in a terrorist attack. My 3-year-old son was shot in the head by terrorists. You know, we have seen so many terrorist attacks in the time that I've been living here, and you know, I had to open up a therapy center. My Shiloh Israel Children's Fund opened up a therapy center to heal the trauma of terror victim children. We have so many, that it's such a disproportionate amount of terrorist attacks here. The Jews who drive here drive with rock-proof windows. The Arabs drive with their car windows open. This is the reality, and the reality is that we're under attack all the time. It's been going on for years, and the world foolishly pressures us to negotiate with the enemy. It's kind of like Adolf Hitler or others of Israel's worst enemies coming to kill us, and we're supposed to put our hands behind our backs and say, okay, hit me some more. No, that's not the way to respond to terrorism. And the terrorism that's coming to the rest of the world is the psychology is the same. You cannot put your hands behind the back when the terrorist is coming to attack you.
So why doesn't the media report the reality of what's happening?
Well, clearly the media has a vested interest. Unfortunately, studies have been done on this, and I'm sure that the President of the United States has a lot to say about this as well. But the fact is that the media tends to lean quite far to the left, and the left in America, the left in the world, in fact, ceased to be pro-Israel a long time ago. And so when you have this collusion between the left that's represented in a lot of the media, a lot of the lamestream media, as I call it, and you put them together with the Muslim ideologues, you have a hornet's nest of anti-Semitism and hatred of Israel. And it's important for people to see through it. And I'm very thankful that there are media outlets that, like CBN, that try to show a little objectivity, because there isn't too much of that out there.
You operate the Shiloh Israel Children's Fund for children who are victims of terrorist attacks. Tell us about the trauma they suffer and how you help them.
Well, children are a bit different than adults. When an adult suffers from PTSD, from post-trauma stress disorder, there are usually ways of that adult to sit down with a therapist and kind of talk it out. It may not be so easy, but that's how it happens. With children, the process is very different. Children tend to bury it inside, and when you bury it inside, when you bury that trauma inside, it comes out in all the wrong ways. And it may come out in sleepless nights. It may come out in panic attacks or irrational fear of a terrorist attack happening in your community. We've seen this with hundreds, even thousands of children, and the children who we treat. So yes, the trauma is very real. And as I always say, the children here in the biblical heartland of Israel suffer from all the same traumas that children around the world suffer from, plus the threat of terrorism and real terrorist attacks, the threat of war and real wars. So it's up to us to treat them. It's up to us to heal them. And those who want to stand with Israel, what better way is there to stand with Israel than to stand with the children of Israel?
All right, David Rubin, the founder and president of the Shiloh Israel Children's Fund. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your insights today, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.